Have you ever wondered why certain presidential candidates are even running for president? They clearly have no chance, and it seems like they are not only wasting time, but also millions of dollars. In the past few election cycles, this has only become more and more true. This election cycle, the Democratic side alone had 29 candidates fighting for one nomination, most of which you have probably never heard of. Of course, underdogs rise up all the time in politics, but a lot of these people don't even seem to have the intention to become president. So why in the world are they even running? Well, starting off, one of the main reasons many hopefuls run is to build a brand around their name, which allows their voice to become much more powerful. When running for president, presidential candidates have the ability to draw focus to certain issues that they may feel passionate about, whether that's healthcare or the economy. When one candidate is aggressively pushing for major reform, other candidates have to at least offer something along the same lines in order to hopefully garner the original candidate's demographic of voters if they were to drop out. A perfect example of this is Andrew Yang and his notable freedom dividend. Andrew Yang was a Democratic presidential candidate who proposed implementing a form of universal basic income in order to alleviate pressure from Americans facing financial stress. Clearly, Yang didn't have much of a chance at actually getting the nomination, as he was polling well under 5% throughout his entire campaign. Despite this, he was able to introduce universal income as an issue that more likely candidates could implement in hopes of garnering Yang's voting base. For instance, Elizabeth Warren has stated that she is open to the idea of universal basic income, and Bernie Sanders has stated that his substitute for universal basic income is the federal job guarantee. As you can see, Andrew Yang was able to build a brand around him and create a subset of voters who supported his policies, with one of his main points being universal basic income. As a result, even after he dropped out, universal basic income remained the talking point for more likely candidates. So oftentimes, candidates run for president in the hopes of focusing other candidates' attention onto a certain issue. Moving on, another reason candidates run for president is to hopefully score a cabinet seat or simply garner nationwide attention, helping them win their local election more easily. It's no secret that a lot of cabinet seats go to once presidential opponents. For instance, Ben Carson and Rick Perry were both able to get cabinet seats in the Trump administration. Before that, Hillary Clinton was able to get a cabinet seat in the Obama administration after running for the 2008 election. Furthermore, even if they don't get a cabinet position, they are able to dominate in popularity within their own state. For instance, Amy Klobuchar didn't really stand much of a chance, as she also polled well under 5% most of her campaign. However, her bid for the presidency has no doubt made her a local sensation within Minnesota, which will probably aid her in many Senate elections to come. But most of these benefits only apply to career politicians. So what's in it for people like Michael Bloomberg and Ben Carson before he scored a cabinet seat? Well, aside from political gain, presidential candidates may be looking for monetary profit. Running for president puts candidates on a national stage where they can sell books, sign television contracts, and charge more to give speeches. One of the best examples of a presidential candidate leveraging the presidential stage into a profitable empire is Mike Huckabee. Mike Huckabee started as an Arkansas governor who ran for the Republican nomination both in 2008 and 2016. Though he didn't win either nomination, I think he would consider both campaigns to be successful, as he was able to become a political commentator after his 2008 campaign and drive even more traffic to his show, Huckabee, during his 2016 campaign. Similarly, would you rather invite Ted Cruz or John Cornyn to give a speech at graduation or give an interview? Whose book would you rather read? The vast majority of people would prefer Ted Cruz, but in reality, Ted Cruz and John Cornyn are both Texas senators, and John Cornyn has actually been a senator for several more years than Ted Cruz. Really, the only difference between the two is that Ted Cruz ran for president and John Cornyn didn't, but this was enough to garner Ted Cruz international publicity. And that brings me on to my final point, which is publicity. Time and time again, unknown candidates have been able to create a huge name for themselves by running for president. They may get obliterated in the primaries or straight up close their campaign before the primaries even take place, but they still get a lot of recognition. Take Beto O'Rourke for example. He was the representative of Texas' 16th Congressional District, and before he ran for president, he had just lost to Ted Cruz in the Senate. Was Ted Cruz's victory aided by his previous presidential run? Very possible, but anyway, as you can see, Beto didn't have a very big political career before running for president. However, running for president drew national attention towards him. This is the same case with Pete Buttigieg. He was mostly unknown until he ran for president, as he was just a simple mayor, but now he's a national icon. When relatively unknown figures are able to gain so much popularity, why not just run for president to gain popularity? In the end, nowadays, presidential campaigns aren't just focused on getting nomination and winning the election. In fact, you can have a pretty successful campaign without directly winning, whether that's drawing attention towards an issue, making a bid for a cabinet seat, gaining money, or just gaining popularity. All of these positive byproducts of running for president have attracted a new group of people running for president, just like many third-party candidates, and that's why they run for president when they basically have no chance at winning. If you guys thought this video explained the benefits of running for president other than winning the presidency, then make sure to drop a like, and consider subscribing if you like to see more questions just like this one logically answered. But until then, I'm Hari, and I'll see you guys on the next one.